Hello, everyone. Am I really quiet?
You
Hold
sound loud
on.
over here.
It's because I have. Wow, I'm dumb. Hold on. There we go. We're good. I literally have earplugs in and headphones over that and wondering why I can't hear anything. All right.
Oh my.
Yep. It's session 37.
Oh, good. That's what I wrote. I'm a little
Hold on
reverbed
now.
out here. Yeah, give me a little less of that. I typed in the right number today. I remembered last week was 36, and that would make this session 37.
Nice.
Interesting.
Well done.
Probably the neighbors, right?
Who knows?
So yeah, what are we doing today, John?
Well, I. Well, I should say both of us spent some time this morning, this afternoon, whatever, working on getting drums a certain type of way. And I went to a show on Friday and was reminded of people putting mics underneath cymbals as a technique instead of overheads. And in this particular case, it's heavier music, so they're having to push mic gains a little more and that kind of thing, probably. So they were, and I was talking to a close friend of mine that professionally, does front of house and, engineering work, and he basically said some of it's just due to consistency. Like if you know the right distance that things sound right at, and you have all the right effects and everything set the right way, it's like if you can put a mic, the right kind of mic mount right on a cymbal stand and know it's going to be in the same place every night when you do that show, maybe some of it's for consistency too. But apparently the sound isn't too bad either. It's just a different technique. So I'm curious to try it because another advantage of it to me obviously seems to be that, then you don't have mic stands in anyone's face either. Which, granted, the way we have them right now, I don't know if they're visible in the back camera, but they're in a spot that they sound really good. Like, I'm really happy with the mix we had, and we'll do a comparison today. That was kind of my plan. We probably get into some other stuff too, but I'm way too curious, and I've got you here, so
Figured. We got to do it.
we got to try it.
Yeah, at least try it and see what happens.
And
I like the idea. I think it's really cool.
And that's the idea. So, like, the I guess conventional wisdom would be, you probably wouldn't do that in a lot of studio scenarios because you're not really too worried about what else is coming into those mics. In fact, you may be really relying on them for the overall image and sound of the kit. But in our case, given that they're kind of against a wall in a way, if you think about it in terms of like delay and distance, right? A good rule of thumb is basically a foot away is going to be about a millisecond of delay. And that scales up to a reasonable level, right? So you figure in terms of latency that's tolerable, you figure if you were playing at a venue and the stage monitor is, say 6 feet away from your ears, there's 6 milliseconds of latency right there.
Yeah.
So there's an interesting argument to be made for what can be done about the placement too in our case, because if you look at how far, say, the overheads are away from, we'll just say, generally speaking, the snare drum or whatever drum they're on, or centered over, I should say, the distance between that isn't so much different from how far it is away from the wall, especially the one that's on the drummer's left. Because if you look at it, it's technically, I think, closer to the wall than it is the top of the hi-hat.
Yep.
And that seems dumb now that I'm looking at it. Because if you think about it, that means that the sound coming off the wall is technically reaching it probably before the sound from the actual instrument. Like that, I mean, it's just kind of basic math, I guess. So that's another advantage, is if we can put them in a place where they're actually farther away but closer to the actual sources, and maybe have some other things out of phase with them, would be ideal, like out of their pickup pattern.
Yeah.
So I think we're just going to try that. I'm going to play just a little bit, just to kind of show what it is. And I see we have the recording running that we usually run, which is normally mostly just for archival. But maybe we'll exploit that to kind of directly compare them after we've tried both.
That sounds good.
So since we have them sounding decent right now, I'll play
jam for a while.
the best I can play, and just kind of give a demonstration of what the raw drum sound is, and then we'll try changing the mic distance and placement. Another key thing about this is, of course, if you change the orientation of the mics 90 degrees, the phase has to be flipped too. So we have to make sure on our board that when we do that, we change the polarity as well on the 2 channel strips for those. So let me go over there and we'll do a little bit. So for the purposes of demonstrating the difference, I'm going to mute all the other mics.
Yep. So you won't hear us for a while.
No, I'm just trying to do the dry. Okay. Well, as dry as they are in this configuration. Okay. So I guess that's kind of what we're working with, right? They're not bad. If you want to Is there a fly in here too?
There's a fly on every stream,
Are you
bro.
kidding me? So the question is, which one of us are they following?
Me, obviously. I like flies. They hang out. I name them.
Because that's funny to me. Because the same thing happened to us at Skylight like
Skylight.
2 weeks in a row. That's so funny.
Yeah, they just hang out.
You know what? Since I brought it up, Michael, why don't you just go ahead and plug your thing?
Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't know if the camera's on me. It doesn't matter. Skylight Huddle is a stream that I run on Tuesdays. We typically start around somewhere between 12 and 2. It just depends on when I can get started. I'm trying to find a consistency. Eventually, maybe I'll have a time. Probably closer to 1, just depending. But yeah, the Skylight Huddle, Tuesdays. And more to come, too. We've been pretty consistent on Tuesdays. Other than a couple people I have coming through, we're prompting a question, and anyone listening, consider this question too. You're interested in music, consider some of the albums that kind of were formative in your musical journey, so to speak. And these aren't albums that are just like your top 10 favorite albums. These are albums that have defined your musical interest. And these are questions we're going to be discussing on the Skylight Huddle in the next couple months. So look forward to that.
Cool. So I changed couple things so I can move around a little. Maybe if you want, you could just kind of stick over there.
Yeah, that's what I planned on doing.
And then we'll try to get these mics in a different spot. So I guess the first thing to do is, for the sake of our listeners, why don't you just go ahead and mute the two overhead channels, which I believe is, 7 and 8. Just so I don't have to hear any handling noise. And before we forget, there's a polarity switch at the top of both of those channel strips. You're going to want to go ahead and push that on both of them. So, all right. So let me go ahead and change these around a little bit.
So if you're just tuning in, we are trying a new overhead mic technique. They were overhead, and now they're going to be under. We're setting them up underneath the cymbals.
Just trying something new here.
Trying something new. And you guys just hang tight. We're going to do that. We want to do a comparison between this setup and the one we had at the beginning of the stream.
Now, the professional advice that I got about trying this was that probably in the case of how we have this stuff set up, and really in most cases where this setup would probably get used, you would likely have also a separate mic on the hi-hat, which, in fairness, I think we have enough stands and enough mics that if we need to do that, and actually an extra channel on the snake too. So even though, yeah, I'm going to put this mic in a setup that I think makes sense for this cymbal, and then we'll try to probably just treat the hi-hat separate.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Unless, actually, let's try it both ways. We'll try it with no hi-hat. We'll try to split the difference between these and catch them both in one mic, and then we'll try it also with this setup just for this cymbal, and then we'll add a mic to deal with this.
Okay.
And we'll see how that works. Now, we already flipped the phase on them, right? I believe we did.
Yep, we got that.
All right, cool.
Polarity.
So let me come over here and see what's up with this one. All right, so
What are you thinking about as you're setting that up right now? What are you considering?
So the general idea here should be that we want to pick up both of these cymbals with this one mic, but they're not exactly at the same level. So I'm trying to think of a good place to put it where hopefully both of them will still sound good, but if possible, I'd like to stick it some. Now, see, this sample pad is kind of messing with me.
Okay.
I may have to just pull this farther back to get where it needs to be. I'm basically trying to get it so that we can put it at an angle where maybe it won't have the other drums in it, or have as little of them as possible.
You want it outside of the what do you call that?
The pickup pattern.
The pickup pattern, right?
So like, I might try something like that. So I guess go ahead and unmute those two channels.
All right.
We'll leave the gains where they're at for now.
Okay.
But we may end up having to change that given that they're closer. You'll have to watch and see if we're clipping them at all.
You got it.
So.
Okay, unmuting now.
Boy, I don't hate that at all.
Yeah, it doesn't sound bad. I was bracing for something harsher.
Same. I was really expecting something far worse. So I feel like what I'm missing, like we thought, is the hi-hat. I mean, yeah, like I don't think that's... Hear that low end?
Yep.
Let's see if we can get it out of that. All right, let me try moving this one. This one's the one that feels off to me. I actually don't hate that, and that's in the oddest spot I would imagine, given what it sounds like. Which often is the case when doing this, I guess. But let's you gotta just go by what it sounds like.
There's a lot of variables that we wouldn't even consider that makes it sound
and a lot
certain
we can't
way.
control. And so in a sense, it's like the guy I was talking to told me, in a sense, even though you guys are indoors and it's kind of almost studio vibe-ish, at the same time, really what you're doing is live, because it's the only difference is you don't have a PA, but you still have stuff making noise in the room, and you can't control the environment. You have to just be able to control what you can with mic placement and EQ and technique, like whatever you can do, but it doesn't involve changing the environment because you can't. Like the venue is what it is.
We're
kind of
definitely a hybrid.
Yeah, it's a strange middle ground. So the point is, I'm willing to try basically whatever gets the best results, even if it seems unorthodox. I'll just trust our ears on it, I guess.
Yep.
All right, let me move this around a little more. Maybe I can get the hat in it. I have an idea. Whichever mic this is. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Can you put the phase back the way it was on that one?
Yeah.
I'll try something else.
Hey, tap that mic again for me. Okay. I was wrong about the one I flipped, but I got the right one now.
Yeah, I guess mute the vocal group and let's just see what that sounds like. Maybe just with the drums. We may have to adjust a little bit. Let's just try it.
Okay, here we go.
immediate impressions is that, like the one that you had to figure out which one to flip the phase on, whichever one isn't that one, probably like it should come down a little bit in volume, I think, or gain maybe even, but probably volume, unless we're clipping it. But I think it's just volume. Less volume yet. I think that's pretty good. Mute the vocal group again. We need more on that mic. The one I told you to turn down, I was wrong about that. But you gotta make the change while the vocal group's off.
That one might be out. That cymbal might be outside the pickup pattern.
Doesn't sound like it.
No? Okay. Go ahead and hit it some more.
We'll kill the vocal group.
Yep.
What's your read on that? I'm listening through my in-ears, and that sounds pretty good to me.
I want you to hit the cymbal on your left.
On my left?
Yeah. Play again. I'm gonna mute the Vox again. I just gotta listen again. Yeah, it sounds good. A moment ago, I thought I heard something, but no, it sounds good. The hi-hats might be a little bit too much.
Well, or too little. I still.
Oh, you thought too little?
Here, let me. I want to try something because that was we wanted to hear it like split between the two. My feel on it is the advice I received was absolutely correct. You can't really split it on these cymbals, or else you're gonna have to choose which one you want more than the other.
So we need to get a mic on that hi-hat.
So yeah, I'm gonna. Well, before I do that, I'm gonna get it in just a spot where I'm not worried about the hi-hat, but I think it sounds really good for this cymbal. So we'll get the level right for that and all that, and see what we need to change.
Sounds good. You're muted on that, Stan.
Let's try that. That should That should be.
Voxer is going to be muted here in a moment. Yeah, I hear that drone in there, that low rumble. That's a good spot.
I almost feel like the one that we were just messing with is probably in a great spot, but maybe the other one needs to come up just a little more. I might have been wrong about that now that I hear them both together.
All right, try that.
That sounds incredible to me.
Yeah.
So let me see if I can scare up another mic and a stand.
And while you're doing that, I'm going to run upstairs real quick.
Go for it.
All right. So what do you got on that hi-hat?
Well, I just had a trusty SM57 sitting around. I'm going with a dynamic mic because I feel like hi-hats like cut pretty good. There we go. Sorry. I feel like hi-hats cut pretty good, and I don't really want other things in this mic. So we're going to try it. We may try flipping the phase and putting it underneath too, but I just want to see what this is first.
Cool.
So
All
this
right.
is on channel, should be I think 5 for you, because 6 is the sampler, right?
Oh, look at that. And it's open. Yep. All right, we're good.
So you'll probably have to make sure it's in the drum group and give it some gain. You may want to take the EQ out of it at first too.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You can just hit the button that says EQ in.
Okay. I'm going to mute this.
So I don't know, is it in the group and unmuted or?
It is in the group. Hold on. When you said 5, were you referring to 2.5?
No, 1.5.
1.5.
It's the
Okay.
drum mic.
We're good there. Not getting a signal.
Is it on line mode up top or?
Let's look. Yes. Now it is not.
How much gain on that channel is there?
40 roughly. Seems like that should be enough. Oh wait.
You on 4 or 5?
I'm on 5. Let's see. Nothing at all, huh? Oh, there. Okay, now we're getting something.
You sure it's in group 1?
Nope, not yet. Okay, hold on. Now it is. All right, there we go. Okay.
Now I got it. And it's not an LR, is it?
No, it is not.
So yeah, it's probably a lot of gain at this point. I can hear it. Okay, so let's do a little more gain and then flip the phase, and I'm going to stick it underneath. Do you hear that ring?
Yes.
Is that in the drum? What is that?
Hit it again.
Mute the new mic.
Okay. Go. It's in the snare or something.
Wow. All right, unmute the new mic. And maybe put the EQ back in it. You might want to flatten it out, though. And I'm wondering if we shouldn't make sure the high pass filter is turned on. That's up by the gain, too. just to make sure we don't get like kick drum and stupid stuff like that in it.
All right. We're all set.
Yeah, so that low frequency, we can probably start turning that knob down a little on the EQ and see if it gets rid of some of that wash. There's still a little bit of like a low frequency wash in it of some kind. That sounds pretty good though. I mean, maybe just boost a little highs on it and turn the gain down. And that's probably about in the neighborhood, I feel like. Yeah, kill our mics and see what that sounds like. On the new mic. What is going on? Did some groups or something get changed? Something really changed.
Can you hit that again?
Did that EQ get bumped out or something? Or were you?
It's possible.
Or is the gain just get? I don't know. It's just crazy loud all of a sudden.
Do it again. Ringing, right? You're hearing that?
Yeah, but that's a different thing.
Oh, okay.
Entirely. I'm gonna get the drum key. I don't know. That sounds pretty decent to me.
I was gonna say the same. There's a couple things that maybe if I was over there hitting them, you could figure out those couple issues, just frequencies. But in terms of like mic placement and stuff, I think a lot of that's.
I mean, let's put it this way. Do you think it sounds as a whole better?
I thought it sounded better
than before. I'm just curious. Like,
yeah. Well, I think
it's a different sound for sure.
I want to hear the comparison, but I really think from my first impressions of it, it sounds about the same, if not a little better to me. Aesthetically, I know this isn't even on the table for discussion, but it looks better over there.
Right.
I think it looks cleaner.
Maybe try muting the vocal group one more
Okay.
time, and then ever so slightly pull the kick drum channel down. Just so little.
A hair.
Yeah.
Hair and a half.
I don't know. Let's maybe compare the recordings.
Let's do it.
See what we think.
All right. Let's set up for that.
So let's see if I can determine what part of this recording was which. I should have taken note of the timestamps, but I wasn't paying attention. So, what are you looking for? Oh, I thought you didn't. Let's see here. Alright, so I'll solo up the drums. And then make sure it's going to the right place. Is it playing? Yeah. Okay. There it is. I'm looking at what we got here. So let's go to, I believe this was before we, should I zoom out far enough? Yeah, later. I don't want to update right now. All right. So this was before we moved everything.
Okay.
I can immediately already tell that, like, I don't know if this could be before we change the compression thresholds and whatnot, because that snare sounds absolutely crushed to me.
Yeah, it does. Every time you hit it, everything gets sucked out of it right away.
Washed.
Man, that attack is real snappy on that
It
too.
is.
It really does clean it.
Yeah, this is after you turned it down.
Yeah, I noticed it was going down 12. It was removing 12 dB.
Most of the problems it has is my shit and sloppy playing.
Yeah, I'm not even considering that
But
right now.
you can especially hear it in a lot of these snare hits, but some of that could be that wall slap I was talking about too. Like, technically the slap was reaching the mic before the real snare sound. So yeah, this is all the stuff from before. Here's a nice spot with hi-hats so we can see. So the everything sounds balanced in this because it's just the stereo pair. Okay, so just like after we first got it going. Why I can't hear anything. A foot away, I guess.
So you won't hear us.
Okay, so I think this is when we had moved them both to the unders. If I'm not mistaken. God, that's clean.
I thought right away when I heard that the first time through, I was impressed by it. That's when we were like surprised at how not harsh it was.
Stereo image is clean too. I'm immediately into that. I'm into that a lot. And this is before we added the hi-hat mic. I sure was. Gotta say, I really thought it was gonna be trash. But then again, I mean, you know, these people running stuff for these tours can't be idiots, right? Like, that's got nice punch on it. There's something weird going on with the snare, though, there. But I think this is where I started working that out. I should be judging the stuff at the end, really, I guess. Because that's when we got it the most dialed.
Yeah.
So this should be a decent one. Something's up with those toms.
Yeah, they got all the life sucked out of them. That
So-
the floor tom.
Yeah, that was before we fixed that. So here's the last section I think that I played. I'm still hearing wall slap, but
The wash is pretty strong. Yeah, I think we were still dialing it in here.
nah, that's the end, homie.
Is it? Maybe we got some work to do still.
Look, I can tell you this much. So my impressions personally are that I think I do like the openness of the technique we were using before. But given the fact that we have so many other sources of like reflection and space, I don't mind the drums being like more close mic'd than I probably would want.
Okay.
And I'm with you. I think that there's probably further tweaking that can be done, like there's like, of course, sitting here when I'm not trying to play drums and like provide source material of some kind, it's really easy to just be like, oh, yep, don't like that. Oh, yep, don't like that, you know?
Yeah.
Like frequencies I think need to be touched or levels, but the truth of the matter is, in terms of real world mix and even ours here, you don't really get to solo the anything anyway, you know?
You're right.
So I want to try something real quick. I don't know. That sounds pretty. So let's try something. There's a little bit of minor EQ on here. I just want to know. I want to know where that thing I'm hearing is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
in a different spot than I was looking for it originally. So I think there's definitely some things that could be changed about just the way the drum is set up. Because I'd like to say that it was all like that one fundamental, but it's not. Like there's ring from other things that I'm not liking. And it's kind of just what I would expect, I guess. Like, that still sounds really good to me, though.
Yeah, it sounds... We were getting it dialed in there at the end. And then you did a little EQing there.
Just a touch. So here's, like, with and without.
Okay.
This is without. And with. It's like super subtle. I'm just trying to see something. And then I guess here's the other thing too. If we had it going through group compression,
I don't know. Let's
whoops,
maybe
I thought that was
compare the
solo.
recordings.
Let's do it.
That's hilarious. I'm just gonna drop a Logic compressor on here and put it on. What would that be? Studio or no? What is it? Vintage VCA. There it is. See, do you hear that? Do you hear that weird, like, I want to say it's maybe around, like, 600 or 500?
Yeah, just a ring.
Or maybe it's more around 1K.
It just sounds like a stacking of a lot of frequencies, like maybe.
But my point is, based on where and how I'm hearing it, I think that's what the wall sounds like, potentially.
Okay.
Like the weird decay is like bounce off of surfaces, because it sounds like a, very sharp and very resonant.
Yeah.
like I said, I do like this sound though. I think this is good. Like I could live with that. So maybe I'll spend some time this week playing around with some things and seeing if I can determine what some of the right adjustments are.
Good idea.
We can make them.
Because I was going to mention this to you. We did a comparison from the first setup to this.
Yeah.
And one thing that I just want to highlight was we did work on the original setup for a long time before we got it to that point.
Yeah, that's true.
It stewed for a while. So I think we need to stick to this, give it a few weeks of just tinkering around until we dial it in. And then if we don't like it then, I think we move and try to find something different. But I think it just needs time to cook.
Yeah. That could be true. Would you maybe like to go out with a jam?
Yeah, that's what I was hoping you'd say.
All right. What do you want to try?
Well, I just want to mess with the synthesizer. While you were doing some frequency adjustments, I was over here messing with this thing, and I was like, I forgot how cool it is.
Man.
Play some drums, dude.
I played drums.
Oh, you're trying to move on.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe I'll switch to something else.
Oh, well, what do you want to do?
Well, we have, if I'm not mistaken, a I can't talk today. A source of rhythmic inspiration. How about that? It's a mouthful, though.
I almost feel like now, in hindsight, I probably should have put this drum machine somewhere you could have put your hands on it more. And it wouldn't be hard to do that.
You can have a turn.
Okay. I appreciate
I'm
that.
going to get on a guitar, I think.
Okay. That is, I have it set up in a mode right now where usually you get 4 notes of polyphony on this synthesizer. But there's a mode where you can actually take all of the polyphony and split it in half, and there's also only access to 2 oscillators. But this thing can split the polyphony in half and making it 2 polyphony plus 2 polyphony, and basically you get access to almost like a mimicked version of the microKORG. There's 2 of them now in one hardware box.
Now, I'm no math magician, but wouldn't that make it 4?
Yeah, yeah. At the end of the day, it would. And so, we have access now to 2 sets of these parameters, depending if I pick timbre selection 1 or 2. So there's a lot going on there. There's some art for sure. So that's why I get 2 notes.
What kind of key are you in? That's the key. Get a little bit more volume out of the drum machine. Dang, I screwed up. That's the root. Whatever note that is. Is it a B? Oh, A? I'm lazy and can't play guitar much. That's all I know. Why does this... What is this? Okay. Already way out of tune. Guess which string it is? I wish we had a... It is. Session 37. Session 37. Session. It's okay. We're all robots. Well, somebody's been practicing. Your in and out points were very nice there.
Thank you. Just finishing up my coffee and my favorite mug. The Phil mug.
It's a good mug. There's a story that won't be told on stream about it, but it's very funny. Even if that's like the one mug, honestly, that like if it broke, I'd probably fix it just because it's every time I see it, it makes me laugh.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. Which reminds me, I need to go mug shopping. I think, given that all my mugs are thrifty mugs anyway, think about this, dude.
Okay.
Think about this. Like a thrift store, they don't give you money for your stuff, but like they take it. So it eliminates. So like you could go there and effectively you pay money to just trade your old stuff for more or different old stuff. Right?
Yeah.
So like I could go in my cabinet and for as many dope mugs as I find at the thrift store, I could just take that many of the other mugs to the thrift store.
So you're talking
because
about
maybe somebody wants the mugs I have, like they like a different kind of mug. I mean, mugs, like when I go to your house, there's certain mugs that I like.
Yeah.
And I'm sure when you come here, you prefer a mug. Mugs are a preference.
That's interesting. And you're right. I am gravitating towards certain mugs. I feel better drinking out of certain mugs.
Sure.
And along with that, I'm kind of seeing it being kind of a trading card scenario where you might have that, that elusive mug I've been looking for.
Right.
And we could trade.
Yeah.
I got
mug
mugs.
swap, dude.
Mug swap.
Wow.
We'll have to
explore that.
Yeah, explore that later. That could be a whole afternoon. And longer.
Yeah. I like mugs that like seem like they should have a story but don't. Too. Or they make their own one too. Like just getting it is its own story. Like shout out to my buddy Eli. We were one time we were up north and I don't remember why, but we ended up going to a thrift store and we got a bunch of mugs that we ended up putting at the cabin, and one of them was a mug that had like bowling pins on it and it said shake, rattle, and bowl.
See that one.
That's a terrible joke. Like
but I'd trade 2 coffee mugs of lesser value for that.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
though?
there's value there.
There's a thing here that maybe is not being looked into
It's
fully enough.
yeah, that's something I'm really excited about getting into. I want to brag about my
Trading mugs, like yeah, dude. This could be a thing.
trading mug. Sounds cool. Mug swap, as you put it.
That was the first thing that came to mind. Like if I was gonna make an app for it, that's what it would be called. Do you see me just giving this stuff away for free? Isn't this incredible? This is what we do at Vibe Unit.
We should have probably turned this off long ago before this conversation.
So listen, if you take my mug swap idea and you make $1 bajillion on it, just like remember where, you know what I mean? Like remember where you got that idea.
Oh, and anyone listening, I just had this idea, and this could be a continuation and part of the ethos here, but if you have a mug that you're especially proud of, please send us a picture of that mug.
That's true.
We're all about mug pictures now. This is a thing that we're going to start doing.
I would say like when you come here, you should bring a mug that you love. But the thing is that like there's certain things that you just love too much and you don't like I wouldn't take
But
like there's certain mugs here that I don't know if I would take somewhere.
I have an
I mean?
idea that expands on yours. Bring a mug you don't like, and we'll see if we like it. And if there's any mug here that we are willing to trade for, mug
what
swap.
do they call that thing? Don't they? I've seen people do that like at events, where like you everybody puts something in, and there's like a drawing, and you get it, and then like you could like swap it with somebody, or something.
That might be something else. You referring to key parties? They're very popular in the 70s.
I don't know. Am I? What is that?
It's where you put your keys in a bowl, and whoever's keys you pull out is the wife you take home at the end of the night.
What? I've never heard of this. That's ridiculous.
Hey, am I right about that, Ash?
I wasn't around during those glorious times in the 1970s. I say not because so much of that, but just in general.
But anyway, let's find
the 70s.
Let's find the equivalent to that in terms of mugs. Maybe we'll throw all our mugs into a pile, and whoever's what you pull out is what mug you're taking home that night. I'm just saying, there's a lot of
That's interesting. Like you have to like. It's like that thing in school that they do with kids where they're like, take home this robot baby, so you can see that it's no joke.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Take care of this
It's like
egg.
you have to take this mug home, and you have to take care of it, and you will like it.
Yeah, I mean,
You may not like it, but you have to. It's yours.
it doesn't matter if you like it or not. The point is
It's
you're
entrusted
taking
to
care
you.
of it. Yeah, it's your responsibility now.
Wow. There's so many facets of this.
Look, everyone's got to have a thing, right?
I guess. Who knew? Who knew mugs could be so interesting
Well,
and multi-dimensional?
I hope this ages well, because it would be fun to see this later if this continues. I want to see this become something. I'm almost thinking about getting rid of my all my music gear, changing this whole channel into a mug swap, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe we don't need any of this, you know?
Maybe we've been wasting our time.
It hurts me to say that. I can't even like go
Yeah, I
along with
can't.
you on this.
I can't.
I'd
say
like
that.
to just
sincerity.
Yeah.
No, I like this way too much. But the cool thing about the mug swap is its entire.
All right, I'm listening, dude. Go ahead.
The cool thing about the mug swap is that it can work entirely on its own in tandem with this. We don't have to give up our lives or passions.
Says the guy who hasn't seen that many mugs. Okay, dude.
Convince me. Prove me wrong, right? Send me mug pictures. We'll see if I'm willing to cheat on the mugs I have.
Like, honestly, that's it.
All right. Well,
We're gonna have to see it.
That's Vibe Unit. and mug swap, I guess.
Well, no one has actually swapped mugs yet. So
Sure.
I feel like we can't actually call this a mug swap.
Okay.
Like, I mean, you didn't
Not a-
bring a mug, I didn't bring a mug. Like, it is what
Right.
it is.
That's a very good point.
But there's something, you know, you're right. There may be something here.
I just think it's an extra. It's an additional thing that I would very much enjoy. Getting really into the trading mug game, lately, and I think it would work with this.
I'm looking for S tier mugs only. You know what I mean? Like I'm
of
looking for
course.
just the rarest and most high quality mugs.
The thing is, there's so many different ones. It's an endless pool of entertainment for myself, and also I like to prove that I have the best mugs.
Oh, absolutely. Like when you face the world with your collection of mugs, like you want to know that the mugs you have are of the caliber required to.
Isn't there a certain sense of dominance when I'm holding up a sweet mug in front of me? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
So, all right. Anything else you got for us today?
I don't think so. Are we gonna do Tuesday?
Tuesday, yeah. You're on for Tuesday. If you want the slot, you can have it.
I'll take it.
I mean, I basically have you penciled in for every Tuesday, unless you tell me otherwise.
Yeah,
so.
I'll take this week for sure.
Cool.
Are we? When were you planning on? You had given us some homework.
Yeah,
some
the
of
prompt.
the folks that you're gonna try to have on is that something I should have ready? Are we gonna talk about that yet?
Nope.
Or are you not ready yet?
We're not gonna go there yet. I'm still filling out my form and what I need.
All right.
Look, I'm giving this a lot of thought. The prompt was, what are albums that defined, your musical interest? And these aren't albums that are your top 10. They don't have to be that. They can be that. But these are albums that have defined what you think you appreciate about music now. I mentioned that.
It's funny for me because a couple of the things that actually end up making my list are not records that I actually think sound good.
Exactly.
But given what you actually said the prompt was,
yeah,
they definitely made me think about stuff a certain way.
Right.
So.
One of mine, just for context, is I bend the rules a little bit. The prompt is to get you talking about it, but there's certain aspects of it where you can kind of bend the rules. For instance, one of the things that I found was I had a VHS tape growing up that had some music on it, and it's not an album exactly per se, right? But it is an experience I had with music that I just found super impactful to myself. And I wouldn't even say today I enjoy the music as much as I did then. But as a kid, I heard it, and it was like a light went off in my head. I said, I got to figure out what's going on here. I want to play like this. I want to sound like that guy.
So how does he do it?
How does he do it? And that's what kind of put me on the path of I'm on today. So do I think it's in my top 10 favorite albums? Is the music my top 10 songs? No, but it did get me to that point of understanding what I liked to even define what my top albums were.
Certainly. Yeah, well, it's going to be a very interesting prompt to hear different people's idea of like what they think was the most influential.
Yeah, I'm
like
excited
I said, especially
about
when you're thinking about it in those terms and not like what do I like, because that's a totally different list.
Right.
So
it can get.
And honestly,
deep.
I'm glad you chose that because it's easier to answer. I found if someone were to just say, "What are your top 10 favorite albums of all time?" That's going to be really tough.
It's extremely
like you're going to have
tough.
to give me a lot of time, and I'm going to give you the list. And as soon as I hand it to you, I'm going to go, "Wait, hold on." Like it's, you know what I mean? I'm never going to be happy with it.
I think it's very unfair to ask it in that way, because my top 10 are always changing.
Sure, and that's why I like what you asked, because it's like I can pick those out without having to, like I can be pretty committal about that and come up with some ideas. Whereas, like you said, because those aren't changing. Those experiences already happened. They're already done.
Exactly. They
already made their mark, Yeah,
so
now it's about what I like right now,
So, yeah, that's going to be something we explore in the next couple months, and I'm excited to do so. We're going to have some faces you guys may recognize from here on that, but it will be a little different, something different for me, more of a podcast format, if you would. Just getting to know musicians and that kind of thing.
Cool.
So, yeah.
I like it. All right, well,
37.
Skylight Huddle is where that's going on at.
Yep, Skylight
so
Huddle.
So you can look for
Tuesday.
that on YouTube. That's where that's going on. I think that'll probably wrap it up for us today. Wow. Words are hard.
Have a good
Words
day,
are hard.
guys.
Have a wonderful
Folks.
rest of your afternoon, and a wonderful week. We will see you next week.